The story begins when this woman simply walked into the store to buy a turkey for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. However, she never expected that this would be her final night because she was murdered by two unidentified men shortly after. Nevertheless, it seems these criminals didn't check the stars today, so their actions will have to pay a steep price from the woman's four adopted sons. So, how will the mission for vengeance take place? You guys shouldn't miss the most thrilling part. Following her abrupt and unjust passing, 3 of her foster children named Bobby, Jack, and Jeremiah immediately came back to attend the funeral. The last son, Angel, has not yet made an appearance. Every one of them has a rather dark history, but they all share a suffocating pain while standing before the portrait of their foster mother. They honored and cherished her just like a biological parent. From a distance inside a parked car, 2 police officers are watching them intently. Their main task is to locate the killer, but what captures their focus most is the 4 foster sons of Evelyn. Previously, when residing with her, all 4 were unruly children whom no orphanage was willing to accept. Burning houses, wrecking neighborhoods, and creating trouble, there was nothing they hadn't done. Evelyn was the only individual who reached out to save them, bringing them home and raising them with unconditional devotion. The police used to be so familiar with them that visiting the house was like a daily meal. This time they return for the funeral, the police fear trouble will reappear, so they follow every single step. After the burial service, the police even attempted to approach them to give a warning against causing trouble. However, with their old nature, the brothers didn't even bother to pay attention, treating the police's presence as nothing more than thin air. Once everything was done, the 3 returned to their old family home. Here they encountered Angel, the one who didn't make it in time for the funeral but still came back for his foster mother. For the first time after many years of being apart, the 4 brothers finally had an occasion to reunite. Despite having different skin tones, they love each other like blood relatives. The house remains perfectly intact just as it was when the 4 of them departed. During the days of their reunion, the 4 brothers decided to celebrate Thanksgiving at this very house to remember their foster mother. They ate, drank, played sports, and briefly forgot about the sorrow. Afterward, the lawyer of Evelyn called them over to announce the final will. Besides the adoption records and a little bit of cash, she left behind no assets of great value. But they weren't sad because they knew her whole life she spent most of her money helping other people. Splitting the small amount of money, the 4 headed to a bar to drink with one another. At this place, they heard the bar owner hint that the death of Evelyn was not simply a robbery as the police had concluded. He couldn't do anything for her, so he only hoped the 4 brothers would find out the truth. Bobby, Jack, and Angel immediately had their will to investigate stirred up. But Jeremiah objected, as he is the only one currently having a stable life and does not want to get involved in trouble. He said they should trust the police and shouldn't dig any deeper. Seeing that everyone wouldn't listen, Jeremiah went home first. Even so, the other 3 could not give up. They owe their foster mother too much, as she was the one who gave them a new life, and now they must do one final thing to repay her. Discover the truth behind the death of Evelyn. Was that a common robbery or a murder that was staged in advance? Bobby led his brothers to the car and pulled out a whole pile of heavy heat from the trunk that he had stored for a long time. He distributed them equally to each person, and then the 3 immediately started the work. Their first destination was the den of a group of thugs who specialized in wandering the streets all night. This gang knows many things, and that is the reason the 3 didn't need to ask long-winded questions. They charged straight into the hideout, grabbed the leader, gagged him with a rag, and then poured gasoline on him and his group of subordinates. Bobby coldly threatened that if he didn't confess who was behind the death of his foster mother, he would light a match to turn him into a headless chicken running wild and then burn down the whole nest. The leader turned pale upon hearing that. He knew very well that Bobby's brothers weren't the type to threaten just for fun, so he immediately confessed that they had been tricked because there were no witnesses at all when she was killed. Because at the time Evelyn was shot dead around 11 p.m., the street lights had been turned off in the whole area. Nobody saw anything. Not believing his words, the group dragged him to the scene. And exactly like that, at precisely 10 o'clock, the lights had gone completely dark. They understood right away that the murderers had intentionally arranged this to cause interference with the investigation. Returning home, with his experience out in the world, Bobby told Jack that the death of their foster mother had definitely been hidden. The criminals must have bribed someone to act as a witness to lead the police the wrong way, turning the murder into a normal robbery. To verify this, the next day, the 3 searched for the convenience store where the case occurred. Angel also appeared. Perhaps after a night of thinking, he understood that he couldn't stay out of his foster mother's death. The shop owner originally liked Evelyn very much, so he didn't hesitate to let them review the video from that night. Witnessing with their own eyes the scene of Evelyn being coldly killed by the robbers, all four brothers were choked with emotion. More importantly, the video proved this was not a regular robbery. After taking the money, they didn't run away but intentionally hunted her down to eliminate her. The shop owner also added that on the day the police took statements, he saw them talking for a long time with a frizzy-haired guy, a basketball player. He suspected this person knew something, and that was why he received such attention. Immediately, the whole group went to the basketball court and caused a ruckus to strike the grass and startle the snake. Bobby intentionally caused trouble to see who would get spooked and run away. And just as calculated, one guy grabbed his bag and dashed out the back door. Jack was quick-eyed, saw him, gave chase, and caught him. But that was only the younger brother of the frizzy-haired guy. Being threatened with a few moves, the kid immediately confessed the home address of his older brother. The whole group arrived at the place to stake it out. While waiting for him to return, Jeremiah again used the excuse of being busy and split off. Even so, the remaining three continued to monitor. A while later, the frizzy-haired guy appeared. They were supposed to approach quietly, but the whole group brandished guns and rushed out from a distance, making him alert. He fled headlong, rushing into an elevator. Bobby and Angel ran the stairs to intercept him, while Jack tracked the floor stop. The frizzy-haired man was fast enough to run into his own apartment. Immediately, two ferocious dogs were unleashed to charge straight at Bobby. He had to open fire, but due to extreme panic, he missed the target. Luckily, Angel and Jack arrived in time to rescue him. While they were still struggling with the two dogs, the frizzy-haired guy had jumped through the window using a rope to escape. When they discovered it, he had already slid down a distance. Finally, Bobby used a knife to cut the rope, making him fall straight to the ground, breaking his leg and unable to run away anymore. Being captured alive, the frizzy-haired man was stubborn at first and wouldn't confess, only until Bobby told the group to leave him lying there, not calling an ambulance. Out of fear, he confessed that he had received money to act as a false witness, claiming that two robbers attacked the store and shot Evelyn to mislead the investigation. After getting information about the two suspicious men, Bobby, Jack, and Angel immediately followed the trail to a bar. Just as they stepped in, they saw the targets sitting in a hidden corner. However, before they could act, those two had caught the scent of danger and rushed to their car to escape. They didn't expect to run into three highway war gods, people who since childhood had trashed neighborhoods and raced cars like a daily routine. The brothers' old, battered car was about to have its wheels fall off, but the daring blood in their bodies was boiling higher and higher. The empty road in the night became a stage for a breathtaking pursuit. When the two cars were nearly side by side, Bobby gave a signal, and the three brothers simultaneously floored the gas to ram straight into the rear of the opponent's car. Those continuous hits caused the other car to lose control, roll many times, and lie upside down in the middle of the road. Pulling the two men out of the car, Bobby and Angel did not hesitate to pour out their rage on behalf of their foster mother with two gunshots, and immediately left the scene. The next morning, the police expanded the investigation and suspected the three brothers. Although they had minor injuries and were questioned repeatedly, with his experience wandering the streets, Bobby quickly covered things up so the police couldn't find evidence. Meanwhile, Victor Sweet, the one standing behind the murder of their foster mother, was going crazy when he knew his two subordinates had been taken out. He vented his anger on the group of henchmen and bluntly threatened that they must find the one who killed those two, or else he would slice and dice every single one of them. Regarding Bobby, Jack, and Angel, they understood that they had to pull the weed by the roots, as there certainly had to be a mastermind behind it. Bobby suggested continuing the hunt to the end. But just as they were preparing to leave, the girlfriend of Angel suddenly stopped him. She demanded that he stay at home, or else she would starve him. Although he really wanted to go to the front lines with his brothers, Angel still had to regretfully stay behind. In the meantime, a man claiming to be a tax official stopped by the house, saying that the business of Jeremiah was on the verge of bankruptcy, even involving bad people. After hearing this, Angel was extremely bewildered and had a premonition that the death of his foster mother was related to this story. At the same time, Bobby and Jack had gone to the house of the two killers to search. Bobby found a whole pile of weapons, while Jack discovered an old camera. Angel went to find an old friend of Jeremiah to extract more information. This person told him that since Jeremiah worked on a large construction project, they no longer collaborated because that project was involved with the underworld. One of the gangsters who had once opposed Jeremiah's project could very well have played dirty behind his back. But what made the group more shocked was when Bobby and Jack returned, they discovered several photos in the camera of their foster mother with a certain lawyer. Before that, he himself had asserted that he only met her once. These pictures proved that the lawyer had intentionally hidden something. Without delay, the four brothers immediately broke into his house and forced him to confess the shady matters. Back at the house, Angel continued the story of Jeremiah. He was having financial trouble and might be cooperating with dangerous people. The whole group agreed that they must meet Councilman Douglas, who was said to know who Jeremiah was associating with. Bobby and Jack then went to meet this councilman and used strong measures to force him to reveal the name.
Victor Sweet,
the boss of every dirty deal in the city. In the meantime, Angel silently followed Jeremiah and saw him go to the bank to withdraw a large amount of money. At the same time, the police also discovered new leads. Lieutenant Green realized that his partner, Detective Fowler, had met Bobby's foster mother right before she was shot, but had never mentioned it. Lieutenant Green started to suspect and monitor Fowler. After the three brothers met again, they concluded that the councilman was Victor's person and the fat guy that Jeremiah often visited was also his henchman. They followed and saw Jeremiah secretly giving him an envelope full of money. They suspected Jeremiah had become corrupted, hiring Victor's people to kill their foster mother to take the insurance money. The three intended to rush into the house to handle Jeremiah, but finally, they decided to invite him to their foster mother's house to talk things out once and for all. The next morning, Jeremiah arrived at the house as promised. As soon as he stepped in, Bobby, Jack, and Angel immediately questioned him. But Jeremiah pushed back strongly. He said that he was involved with Victor because he was scammed by him, which made him almost go bankrupt. He affirmed that he never had any intent to kill his foster mother. The confrontation hadn't gone anywhere when suddenly Victor sent troops to eliminate all four people. Jack heard the sound of cars and went to open the door, then was immediately shot down by an assassin. A rain of bullets surrounded the house. The gunmen of Victor fired as if they wanted to level this place. The three brothers could only find shelter and fight back. In the fierce battle, Bobby and Angel bravely pushed back the assassins. However, because the wound was too heavy, Jack did not survive. The death of the youngest brother made the three pained beyond words. After that, Lieutenant Green said that Evelyn had realized the difficulties of Jeremiah, so she had gone to the city council to file a complaint to help him. But her complaint was sent directly to Victor by Detective Fowler, causing him to order her elimination to silence the lead. Lieutenant Green promised to deal with Fowler, but immediately after that, he was murdered by Fowler, who then staged a fake scene. After the funeral of Jack, Bobby was extremely sorrowful, but Jeremiah was determined that they couldn't let them walk free. He gave a plan to bait Victor with $400,000 of insurance money. Victor took the bait and made an appointment to meet Jeremiah at Lake St. Clair. Angel took the mission to deal with Detective Fowler. He had secretly installed a recording device and tricked Fowler into showing his true face right in front of the fellow police officers. Finally, Fowler was eliminated in the gunfight with the police. At Lake St. Clair, Jeremiah met Victor. He intended to bury him alive, but Jeremiah coldly revealed that he had used that money to bribe all of Victor's subordinates, those who had harbored resentment against him for a long time. At that exact time, Bobby appeared. He wanted to personally handle the one who had killed his mother and younger brother. After a fierce one-on-one fight, Bobby knocked out Victor and left him to be thrown into the ice hole. After the revenge was done, the three were questioned by the police, but there was no evidence to convict them. Finally, the storm had passed, and the three brothers together repaired the house of their foster mother, starting a more peaceful life. The story about the four brothers of the Mercer family also ends here. How do you feel about this movie? Please leave a comment for me to know. If you find it good, please give me a like and a channel subscription to support me in making more videos to send to you guys. Thank you very much, and see you again.